Hey guys, so now we're going to do a player banker, okay? The first thing that you're going to do when a player requests to bank is you're going to look at their chips. If they must have enough chips on the table in order to pay the ante bets. So the house takes care of the envy and the progressives, but the player banker must have enough in their bankroll on the table in chips to pay the ante bets. They're playing against the players and the house. So you can kind of eye it sometimes. You can see that they do have enough to pay the other ante bets and the house bet if they lose. If you have any questions, you can come out and you may request, make sure you call your supervisor and break down their chips and make sure they have enough chips in front of them. So they do have enough. If they do not have enough, then they will have to buy in more. They cannot just put cash on the table. The dealer must actually change it out and put the chips in front of the player to make sure they have enough. So the player is requested to bank. Okay, so what we're going to do first is we're going to establish who the banker is, that hand. Okay. We must ensure that the player banker is not betting more than their previous hand. Okay, so they may bet less, but they cannot bet more. Okay, so they have $75. They had $75 last hand. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and push that back, and the house will set up $75 in front of the float. Okay, at this point, we're going to do, if we had the random number generator, we would load our cards, get a number, but we don't, so we're going to use the dice. Okay, so the dice procedure for player banker. The dealer will shake the dice one time, and then the dealer will slide the shaker over to the player banker. At this point, the dealer will instruct the player banker to shake the dice 3 or more times. Okay, so then the player will shake it 3 or more times. At this point, the dealer will then take the shaker back in front of their float and reveal the number. The number is 11. We will take the top of the shaker, the lid to the shaker, place it next to our drop box. Okay. The player is now the banker. He is a player banker, so he is 1, 8, or 15. Okay, so my number is 11. If he's 1, 8, or 15, we can count it off. 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, and this is where we're going to start dealing. We're starting again. Player is 1, 8, or 15. The number is 11. So we'll go 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so at this point, you're going to load your cards in your Shuffle Master. You're going to call No More Bets. You're going to press the Start Game inside your float for your progressives, and you're going to pick up your progressives that are bet. Okay, we press the button, and it will give us 7 cards. So we'll go ahead and deal out 7 cards, starting at the spot that's designated by the dice. When the dealer is dealt their hand, they'll take the money that the player is banking and put it on top of the cards. Whenever the player banker receives their cards, the dealer will then put the chung on top of the player banker's card. Okay, at this point, we're going to prove our 4 cards. So this is a good hand, okay? The players may pick up their cards and start setting them. The player banker cannot set their hand until the players have set theirs. So we're going to lock these 4 cards up, and we'll pick our cards up that are not in play. And we'll also lock those up. And then we will cover our shaker and we'll place it back by the drop box. Okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and set these players' hands. And I'm just gonna set them house way. Players and or player bankers may set their hand any way they choose. They do not have to follow house way rules. This person does not have a good hand. Okay, so once the players have set their hand, then the dealer will reach over and they will remove the chung from the player banker's hand, okay? And then the player banker will set their hand. Again, like I said, the player banker does not have to follow house rules when they're setting their hand, but if they foul their hand, then they automatically lose the bet and the house will then set their hand house way to play against the other players and the house. All right, so I'm gonna set the hand. Okay, at this point, the dealer will then open their hand. And I'm going to place my cards in order from highest to low. Do I have a straight? Ask yourself, do I have a flush? I do not. So, my joker is going to be an ace. So I'll set my hand, king 9 on top, with my cards in order, highest to low, ace 7, 6, 4, 2. Now, the house and the player banker are going to play against each other. Okay, we're heads up. So I'll open up the player banker low hand and compare them. They have won. They beat my king. And I'll open up their high hand and they've won the high hand also. So they actually win the bet. I will look for any bonuses in the hand. If there is not, then I will lock up the ante bet. Okay. At this point, the player banker has beat the house. Okay, so they've won the bet that they're banking. So the bet that they're banking will remain in front of the float, and then the house will then lock up their cards. At this point, the house will then pull down the player banker's hand in front of them, making sure that the hand is set exactly how the player banker has set it, unless they have fouled their hand. Then it'll be set house way. Make sure you do not bring the hand down and set it house way. You leave the hand set exactly the way the player banker has set it. So now we're going to go to the players' hands. But now that they're heads up against the player banker, the players are now heads up against the player banker. So here the ace will beat the queen. But they have trips on the back. The trips will beat the pair of queens. So this is a push. And then we'll pay the bonus, the ante bonus. Trips are 3 to 1. Take it, hand it off. Then we're going to lock up that hand. Okay. Again, open the 10. The player banker will be the 10 high, low hand. And the player banker will beat the jack high, high hand. So we'll look for any bonuses. There are none. I will take the bonus. Now the player banker has won this bet also. So then you will take that bet and put it in front of your float. Okay. Then you will lock the cards up. Okay. Now, the player banker has won $175. You must take commission from the $175. So we must take $875 from the money that they've won. So what I normally do is I'll go ahead and make change for their $25, okay? I know that I'm gonna take $8.75 out of $10, right? All right, this is their commission. I'll lock it up. This is what's left over. You'll take this, and you'll pull it off. And that is the end of the game.